Yo, what's happening, Raider Nation? It's your boy Soto here. You know what it is, Raiders versus the world. Talked about the team that the world loves to hate, your Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, man, we're keep getting further and further away from this Monday night game, and it's just not getting any easier to get over because there's a lot of things that we learned about what's happening right now with these Raiders, and it's not good, man. There's not a lot of good to go around, and there's a lot of rumblings going on about who and what and all this and that and why someone has this power over this person and all this stuff. And it's just a shame that things are shaking out the way they're shaking out because I think there could have been a lot of promise in this team had things been done a specific way. And there's a lot of things happening beneath the surface that maybe we don't know about that may lend a little bit more clarity to what we've been seeing on the field. There's a lot of rumblings going on about Chip Kelly being a heavy influenced hire by Tom Brady. That Tom Brady was the guy that wanted Chip Kelly in there, and that's why they paid him so much money and lured him away from Ohio State and kind of gave him full control of what to do with the offense. And that's why we've been seeing Pete Carroll talking about we got to run the ball more, be more balanced, this and that. And then we go out there and we see the exact opposite happen. You have to understand something. You remember a lot of those teams with Tom Brady and with the Patriots, they didn't run the ball a ton. They threw the ball a lot to the running back. They didn't run the ball a ton. And they used the short passing game as kind of a pseudo run game. And I don't know if that's that's how Tom Brady envisioned Geno Smith. I don't know if that's what he's telling Chip Kelly to do. And then you have almost, I don't want to call him a lame duck, but I mean, what else would you call it? If this is the case, this is the kind of the scuttlebutt that I've been hearing that, Pete Carroll was basically told, you take care of the defense and Chip Kelly will handle the offense, come down from above from Tom Brady. And Mark Davis is going to listen to what Tom Brady says. So if Tom Brady tells that to Mark Davis tells that, or whoever tells that to John Spytek, probably Brady told that to Spytek. Spytek tells that to Pete Carroll and says, hey, hands off the offense. And that's that. Unfortunately, I don't know that Tom Brady or Chip Kelly or John Spytek or anyone for that matter watched any of my content leading up to the season when I was begging and I was screaming, ranting, and raving that Geno Smith can be successful if you have a strong run game and if you can protect him, which they didn't really do anything other than draft Ashton Genty to really solidify those two things. And we're seeing the fruits of that. It's not all about who's in your starting lineup. It's about who's underneath that because everyone will tell you who's played or even sniffed even close to the NFL. The injury rate in the NFL is 100%. There's never been anybody who played any length of time who was a starter on a team who never missed a game. Everyone misses games. Everyone misses time. You need to have depth. And I don't know that depth is our biggest problem right now, to be honest with you, because hell, even when Colton Miller and Jackson Powers Johnson were healthy, this offensive line still wasn't great. I think a lot of it is just we don't have good players. Plain and simple. We don't have good enough players. We're not good enough. And this is one of the things that's been frustrating to me because you see these guys that are telling you in the press conferences and in the scrums and in the interviews, we're working so hard. We're having such great practice. We're doing this. We're doing that. Yeah. Talent wins. Talent wins. That's it. Bottom line. Whether it's coaching talent, whether it's strength coach talent, whether it's, rehab talent or talent on the field, talent wins. And if you don't have talent, you can work as hard as you want. You're just not going to be as good as the other teams. Because it's not like the other teams are just laying down and not working hard. The other teams are working hard too. You just can't outwork inferior talent, not over the long haul. Maybe one game here and there you can do it, but not over the long haul. That's not going to work. You got to have better talent, and we just don't have it. And that's an issue that we need to tackle because ultimately right now, I know we need a quarterback, but what are we giving this young quarterback? We're giving him a very bad offensive line. We're giving him a leaky defense, and they're just not that good. We're giving him no targets to throw to. How are we going to build? It's a tough situation. It's like I heard this analogy, so I'm not going to claim it as my own, but I'm going to riff off of it a little bit. It's like, yeah, you want to redo your bathroom, okay? And the contractor comes in and says, you know what? Yeah, this is a remodel. No problem. We'll just do this. We'll put a little paint here. We'll spackle this there. We'll put some tile on. You'll have a great new bathroom. Then the contractor starts to work on it and it's like, well, the floor under the tub is rotted. We need to pull all the flooring out down to the base, and we need to put new flooring in. Oh, well, your pipes are leaking. Your pipes are busted. We need to repipe your whole basement. And then this remodel becomes a full-on rebuild. And I think that's what's happening to us is Pete Carroll comes in and he sees we have a couple of pieces here and there. All right. We have a Jacoby Myers and we have an offensive line that was getting better towards the end of the year, which they were. And we got a brand new running back and we got a quarterback that I believe in. If I'm Pete Carroll talking about Geno Smith, and we have an experienced guy as an offensive coordinator, and Patrick Graham is a smart a defensive coordinator. We have Maxx Crosby and some other pieces that we're bringing in. Hopefully that can play really well. We got Spytek going out there, getting some of these young guys on good contracts. We can make some things happen. And it's the NFL, so you never know. Just as quickly as doors or windows close, a window to win, they open up just as fast. Okay, so we're taking a look at this. Okay, and we're looking at it optimistically. But then you dig deeper, and the work starts, and you actually start to do the things that you want to do, and you're like, this is not going to work. It's not going to work. I can't tile this floor with the baseboards being rotted out. I gotta dig up the whole thing. And then when you dig that up, you find more problems. Oh, there's termites. Oh, there's I need to replace your pipes. Oh, your water heater's messed up. There's just, you find problem after problem, and it gets worse and worse and worse. And you're seeing the after effect of years of just shoddy patchwork remodels when a full rebuild is necessary. Now, if you keep looking and it gets bad enough, you might have a demolition on your hands where you say, you know what? There's so much going wrong with what we have right now. We just knock the whole thing down. We sell what we have for parts and we build up brand new. That could very well be a possibility as well. That's just a real possibility. It's a fact that we have to face straight on. And this is kind of what I've been talking about with every regime change. You just kind of slap a Band-Aid here and slap a Band-Aid there. And, oh, maybe, Jimmy Garoppolo can help us out for a year or so. Oh, well, Gardner Minshew can help us out for a year or so. It's like you keep pushing this back where, well, maybe this guy can work and maybe that guy can work. And maybe if we do this, maybe if we do that. And we know what the issue is. Nobody thought that Jimmy Garoppolo can play with the best guys in the NFL, let alone the AFC West. No one thought that. They're like, you know what? He can keep us afloat for a year or so until we can figure well, you keep pushing that, kicking that can down the road. You got to go one way or the other. All right. You either got to trade up. Now, I will give Dave Ziegler this credit. He tried to trade up. He had if you guys don't know this, he had a trade in place to trade up to number 2 with Houston to pick up CJ Stroud. And Josh McDaniels nixed that trade. He said, no, I don't want it. Okay, well, you have to do one or the other. Either trade up, and if you're in the Raiders position, you either trade up to get the quarterback you want, or you trade back and get more picks and more players because you have a severe talent deficiency. You need more talent at more positions. And that's, we get pushed around on the offensive line. Our defensive line doesn't get the pressure we need to on the quarterback. That's a great place to start. I know that we want to have the flashy players, the guys that get you all the fantasy points and everything, but you see Geno Smith, right? Now, Geno Smith is not a game breaker whatsoever. He's an average quarterback. He's average. Okay. If you put him in a really good position, he'll be above average. And you put him in a bad position like now, he's going to be below average. You put a rookie behind this offensive line with the weapons that he has. He has Brock Bowers, who's a consistent weapon. Who else is a consistent weapon around him? There really isn't one. Trey Tucker is, when he's open, yeah. And he gets open, but he's been dropping passes. He had an issue with the route that could have been a touchdown. He did score a touchdown, which is great, but he's not a yard after catch guy. His legs go dead on contact. He doesn't really win 50-50 balls in the air. You need a number one receiver. And Trey Tucker is a really good piece. Don't get me wrong, but he's not a number one. And I'm not talking down on him. This is just a fact. So what do? You're going to give a rookie quarterback who's just learning his way in the NFL and the NFL schemes and the speed of the game. You're going to give him Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty, and that's it. I don't know if that's the best way to go. Eventually, we need to get a quarterback, but we needed to do this. We needed to build these building blocks ahead of time, and we just never did it. We never did it, and it's a shame that we're going to have to wait even longer because we are more than just a quarterback away from being a consistent contender, a consistent winner, to be competitive. We're not competitive now. And that's shocking to me coming from a team that is being coached by Pete Carroll. We've been blown out by double digits more times than I can even remember Pete Carroll losing. And this is we're going to go against the Browns next week. And this Brown team, even with Shedeur Sanders, with that defense, they can still probably put up some points. Let's hear what Pete Carroll had to say in his press conference the day after that debacle against the Cowboys on Monday night. Here's Pete Carroll.
What do you got?
Pete, when trying to figure out who starts on your offensive line, whether it's Caleb Rogers, Will Putnam, throughout the course of what are the benchmarks you're looking for in terms of in practice to kind of help you guys make that decision on who goes out there?
Okay, first off, everything is based on competition, meaning that we got to give them a chance and show them. We look at who they're matching up against, how they handle it. I mean, from the pass rush competitions that we do, the communications, and so we're looking at just as we evaluate everything. So we try to mix the rotations, and so that we see guys against the best competition they could have, and we use all of that information. Then from there, it's subjectively we make a decision on what we're doing. So I mean that's not any different than we've ever done in any position. We might specialize a little bit in trying to make a big deal about it that we're competing and everybody knows, and so the guys are battling, and so we're trying to make it kind of out in the open.
Is it disconcerting at all that this far into the season that maybe Caleb wasn't ready to be dressed out?
No, he's a young player trying to make it, and he's trying to do the best he can. He's been busting his tail for a long time, but he's still learning. I mean, it's because he's a draft pick that you guys are bringing this up, and we think he's going to be a good player, and it just hasn't quite got it as far as he needs to at this point. And he's trying. He's busting his tail.
After getting a chance to see the game film, obviously better than field level, did anything stand out to you maybe after seeing the film that you didn't notice from field level?
Sure. Yeah. That's why I hate having to talk about the game before I see the film, and I try not to say too much to the team. I try to not say too much to you guys because I don't, I need to get a real good session. So I went right there last night and away we go. Gosh, there's so many observations in different directions. Just in general, we went after him to go after him with the early play passes and to throw the ball on first down, and we did that pretty well. And that was pretty clear. And the reason why, I think I said this last night probably, but we protected well in those situations, and we Chip mixed all the calls so they had to keep the defensive guys from teeing off on us. And when we fell into the drop back opportunities, the longer the third down situations and a couple earlier ones, we had trouble holding them out, and we didn't pass pass pro well in against their guys. It's a really good front. Kind of quickly they changed the complexion of their future, I think, with the moves that they made, and those guys were tough, and they made it hard on us. That was just one area. I mean, there's a ton of them.
Can you foresee in the future Jordan Meredith getting more snaps at the guard position, or was it a thing of you just trying to put the best 5 on the field?
Well, we tried. We banked on the fact that he had a lot of experience in his background there, and so we took a look at him. Really, we started. We had a couple extra days, and we took a look at guys to see what we had available, and he's a secure player, man. He does things right, and he's strong, and he doesn't get knocked around a whole lot. That came off of last year's film, and he showed that right off the bat that he's still a little rusty at guard, and so this is another week to go ahead and evaluate as well. But we did kind of bank on that he has background there and he could make that switch and we could count on him. And so really the focus went to Will Putnam and to Kappa playing at center and to see what did we have there with those guys. And so we're kind of in the mode still. Again, we will be this week again. We're going to give these guys a competitive opportunity to see who can battle to get the playing time.
Early impressions of Sure Sanders? Have you had a chance to watch video?
I have not yet. I'm still just wrapping up this game with the coaches.
9 snaps for Jack Bash and just 1 target between he and Dante Thornton. Was that just the product of how the game played out? Are guys getting open? Or are they being?
They had their concepts. That they were carrying out a couple. Like the one that Jack caught was the one that we had done all week long. We kind of felt really good about that, and they hit it perfectly, just like we'd practiced it. But he was in the plan too, but the balls just didn't go that way.
Pete, with your years of experience, when you have a team that's struggling, how are different ways that you continue to keep them engaged, get them continue to not look at it, oh my God, we have another game, but hey, we have another opportunity? How do you handle that?
Yeah, well, it's an involved process of trying to keep their focus and to keep their hope alive and challenge them to work, try to find the key individuals that you think could benefit from a little bit more focus, a little more emphasis, a little more pat on the back or kick in the butt, whatever it is. And then it's a variety of ways. In general, it's really keeping an eye on the future. What we've always had a way of dealing with the last game, so we try to stay in the routine of that, whether it was a big game win or a big game loss, whatever the situation is, to come back to focus, to try to find a regularity about the preparation process. So we've worked hard at that because I know how important it is to be consistent in that regard. And that's what throws teams off. The last second win or loss can totally blow you out of the water in terms of your focus the next week. The media, the hype, the build up, the pats on the back, the kick in the butt again. So we have a whole way that we work at that, and so I got to call on that again and see if we can get back to right. We played hard in this football game, and guys played tough in the game, and we didn't play well enough, and I thought Shadi's group played really well. They did a lot of things. Their guys played like they're supposed to play. The guys made the catches, the guys made the runs, the guys made the blocks. They got the rushes out of their guys. Got a couple of good wins in the secondary. They really did a nice job coming into this game, and give them a lot of credit.
Going back to Jack Bash real quick, is there anything he has to do to get more snaps? I mean, forget targets, just get more snaps, get more opportunity on the field.
If you notice, we played a lot of tight ends. We played a lot of 12 and 13 personnel, and that takes away from the receivers. And so that's why we even went to 4 receivers in the game plan this week. We were able to do that. So it just cuts in on their opportunities is what happens. So they got to make the most of the ones they get.
Last night and just now, you gave credit to the Cowboys receivers of the way they were able to play. But when you look at the film, what's one thing you can put your finger on that the secondary really needs to improve on moving forward?
We didn't tackle 3 very well at all. We didn't tackle the guy. He ran through us, and he made us miss. He broke tackles. He was more aggressive running with the football than I thought he was. And we'd seen some good highlights from him, but we didn't think that it would happen to us. But shit, he did it. Did I just say shit? Yeah, sorry. Bleep that out, please. Anyway, He was. I thought he had a phenomenal game. We really did put coverage on him. It wasn't like we just were surprised that he had a big game. We counted on him. We played the deep ball well on him. You saw us cover him up a couple different times well when they wanted to go to him, because it's 2 or 3 times a game they're going to take a shot, and that part we did well. But it was him after the catch that he was really difficult. It was 3 big slant routes that he caught, and an in route he caught on and spun out and got out of there. He was a big factor. So if we were doing it again, man, we would just be emphasizing the heck out of finishing those tackles, because a number of times guys thought they had him and they thought he was going down, and he just kept spinning and rolling, and you got to give him a lot of credit. That was a very good game for him. I don't know why he didn't start the game, but we were better when he wasn't out there.
Pete, I was curious, what went into the decision to do, I think it was like an onside punt kick, like near in the fourth quarter after the safety? Kind of what went into the decision?
Well, we're in a 3-score game. We got to get the ball back, and it's an opportunity. We actually almost did it exactly right. It was close, It was a great kick that gave us a chance, and we're trying to get the ball back, and figuring if we don't get the ball back there, it's going to be really difficult to get 3 more chances, after they get the ball again. So that was just a decision that we made to go for it, and we took a shot at, our prep and special teams. Might add, I thought Darius Swinton did a nice job in his first game out there with his guys. Guys played really well for him, played really hard, and I think there was 1 return, but other than that, we were very consistent with the play, and that called on another aspect of a special part of special teams that we took a shot at.
Just curious on that, because that play rarely happens. I don't know that I've ever seen a safety punt for an onside kick, basically. How much do you guys practice on that or wherever? Because like you said, it was pretty darn close to
Yeah, no, we have done it. We've done it consistently throughout. It's been ready. The kickers work on the kick and all that every week. So we wouldn't have done it if we didn't feel like we had a chance, because we've worked on it. So it gave us a shot, and it was a tremendous kick, and there's a lot of things that can happen right there.
Pete, where's your current confidence level with Geno Smith at this point in the season?
I thought Geno played really well for the most part last night, and he was under the pressure the entire time in the drop back game. He had to move. It wasn't perfect. He did jam a ball in there on the interception that got tipped, that he could have checked it down. We were really trying to take advantage of the checkdowns and get the ball to Ashton as much as we could. And there was a chance there for a 10-yard play probably. But he thought he saw it, thought he could get it in there, and linebacker got a hand on the ball. But he threw a great ball to Trey on the seam route down in the goal line, the back line of the end zone. That the 2 of them needed to just hook it up. He threw back shoulder to him on a seam route that was a beautiful thought and throw, and Trey didn't quite get there. Something we just need to keep working on. But I continue to really believe in him. I have no hesitation in telling you that. He's an incredible player, and he's busting his tail, and he's working at it really hard. He has not backed off 1 step throughout the process, and so we're counting on that he's going to keep working it, and he'll come through for us. We just got to help him out more, got to protect him better.
When you go back to the play where he tried to force the ball to Brock Bowers and got tipped and picked, and you say he could throw the check down, is that just a product of just him predetermining where he wants to go with the ball?
No, it's kind of the competitor in him. He had a shot. He'd been hitting everything on the play actions, and here he had a shot again, and here's his top guy. He's got Brock, and there's a little crease there, and he gunned it at him, and the guy got a hand on the ball. And so he went real aggressive with the decision at the time, and he checked down the ball really well, and so we made nice yardage on stuff down to the running backs on the same kind of actions, not the same play, but different ones. And that was the game plan. We're not trying to just force the ball down the field. We're trying to see if it's there, take it as he did most of the time, and then drop the ball down when he had to. That was just one he just went for it, and we can see it happening. And he's got that kind of competitive nature about him, but there was a better decision to make than that on that play.
In regards to Aiden O'Connell, are you anticipating him being activated back to the 50?
He's been practicing a lot with us. He's getting his good work. We got to go talk about it, figure that one out, because the time is coming. We've been getting him some work against the ones and all that to bring him along as fast as we can. And he's had quite a bit of practice opportunity to get going. So he's done all right with it too.
When your football team's 2-8, there's blame to go around everywhere. And Geno consistently stands up, says, "Put it on me. It's all on me." And I'm setting aside the on-field play. How happy have you been with his leadership as a veteran, taking the heat, taking the lightning rod, and just the way he's handled that.
Yeah, he really has, and I do compliment him for maintaining that because it's been hard. It's the season didn't. You go back to the first 3 or 4 games when the ball was going to the other team. I mean, that was a hard start because he understands that carries throughout the season, and all that. He's made it through that, and he's responded, and he really hasn't wavered. And when you give him the opportunity, I know you guys, you check him out every week, a couple times a week, I guess, and yeah, that's a lot to stand up to. But he's been around a long time. He's had good examples that he's played around and understands the way you have to maintain that mentality, and he's doing it admirably. Hopefully we all are.
That's good.
Thank you, Pete.
Okay, so a few things that I wanted to talk about with this press conference. I think this is a much more candid Pete Carroll that we saw. There's some things that I'm going to address, but I think overall, this is much more candid and much more direct. He was the most critical of the offensive line that I have seen this entire season. He's not wrong. I think if we would have protected Geno Smith better, he was getting the ball down the field and things were working. He called Geno Smith's interception. He claimed that it was due to the competitive nature of Geno Smith. And I will use another C word. I think he's a little bit careless. I think he's a little bit careless with the ball, and he needs to understand that if it's not open, don't force it. And that needs to be drilled into his head over and over and over again. A competitive nature is one thing, but being careless is something else. And I think that's more of an accurate assessment of Geno Smith with the football than competitive. You can be both. You can be competitive and careless, and I think that's more true. But that throw wasn't a competition-based throw. It was a careless throw. Another thing that really struck me was the last question when Hondo Carpenter, and you can rewind it if you'd like, when Hondo Carpenter is like at 2-8, there's blame to go around, and Pete Carroll's like, 2-8, like it just sounds it just looked like it pained him. I understand that Pete Carroll wants to win football games, and I understand that he may have been handcuffed by who knows who on certain things with this team. Ultimately, the team is not improving, and that lack of improvement needs to go right directly at the feet of Pete Carroll. Because if his coaches aren't coaching these players up to get the best out of them, then you're just lying to yourself. If you feel like you're doing the very best as a coaching staff to help get this team ready to play, and they give you that week after week after week, if they give you that multiple times getting blown out, multiple times only scoring 10 points or less in a game, if they give you that multiple times, then you need to be honest with yourself and say, you know what, this team just isn't that good. Or you need to say, we need to do a better job of coaching these guys up. And if you're not, after all this time, if you're not doing a better job of coaching these guys up, changes got to be made, man. Changes got to be made. And that's the long and short of it. And that's really up to, to a certain extent, it's up to Pete Carroll to figure out what changes need to be made, because I think we can all agree that some changes are in order. All right, guys, that's my time for today. Really appreciate you guys watching. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to this video. It's the next way to support the channel, and it's absolutely free. If you want to support a little more, we have the Shield Society. It's only $5 a month. You get some perks, you get some freebies, and you get some extra attention from this guy. It's great. If you want to do it and you can do it, great. I would appreciate it. If you don't want to do it or you can't do it, that's fine too. I'm still giving you a video every single day. All I ask in return is that you tell your friends, tell your haters, tell your mamas, tell everybody Raiders versus the world is the greatest, and go into Raider Nation today. All right, guys, that's my time. Till next time, everybody. Hey, Raider Nation. Thanks for watching. There's plenty more where that came from. Go ahead and smash that like button. Drop a comment. Make sure to subscribe and share to all your socials. It's the bare minimum you can do without doing absolutely nothing.